You can also fertilize your cacti and succulents using this homemade fertilizer, and it works the same as the commercial fertilizers. So let's know all about this fertilizer, including some of its benefits, how to make it, and most importantly, how and when we should fertilize cacti and succulents. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates. First, it's important to know what type of fertilizer do cacti and succulents like. Both are low to moderate feeders and they grow slowly by their nature. For that reason, we need a fertilizer that feed them very constantly, not heavily. Cacti and succulents are from the habitat of very less fertile soil, and providing them a high-dose fertilizer can work oppositely. So make sure your fertilizer is a balanced and slow-release fertilizer, because we are not going to fertilize them like our regular plants. Most succulents propagate themselves through pups, so here you should include phosphorus and potassium element, because both of them helps in better root growth and ultimately more pups. There are a few benefits of this homemade cacti and succulents food that you should know. First is that it contains all essential nutrients, and keeps the growth on its full potential. By nature, cacti and succulents are slow-growing plants, but still you will find a relatively good growth. This fertilizer is purely organic, so here the chance of over-fertilization is also less. This fertilizer is very cost-effective, because it's made from very simple ingredients. This cacti and succulents fertilizer also improves the soil health, by improving its drainage and softness, and in such a mixture, roots grow much better. Soil mix plays a really big role in keeping your succulents and cacti healthy, so a video is added in the description box to show you some easy and effective recipes. This fertilizer also helps the plant to grow more pups, as it contains phosphorus. This homemade fertilizer also have fungicidic effects, and it's very important because these plants are very sensitive to fungal diseases. By the regular application of this fertilizer, your cacti and succulents will be resistant of pests and insects as well. To make this beneficial fertilizer for cacti and succulents, you need a few organic ingredients that are also linked in the description box to buy. The first ingredient is the tea powder, that is rich in nitrogen, which helps in overall development of thick succulent leaves. You can also use tea waste, but first wash it, dry it in sun and then use. The next thing to make the best fertilizer for cacti and succulents is the neem cake. Neem cake primarily works as a soil pesticide and fungicide, but it is also full of benefits. Detailed guide on neem cake is linked in the description box, that you must check out. Another ingredient to make this fertilizer for cacti and succulents is the banana peels powder. First dry the banana peels in sun for a few days, and then crush them into powder. Now you can use it. Here we are also using compost, because it contains hundreds of trace elements, that have small but very important roles in plant growth. You can also make compost at home using your kitchen waste. Detailed guide is linked in the description box, must check it out. Another thing to make this organic fertilizer for cacti and succulents is the mustard cake powder. But it is a high-dose fertilizer, so make sure you are using it in right quantity. It's also linked in the description box to buy. Mustard cake provides our fertilizer nutrients, like phosphorus, potassium, iron, calcium and so on. It indirectly helps in more pups and better root growth as well. You can also explore some of its other uses for plants, from the description box video. Here we have all our ingredients, note down their ratios, mix well, and here is our fertilizer for cacti and succulents ready to use. Knowing when and how to apply this fertilizer is also very important. To apply this fertilizer, your soil mix should be fully dry. Loose the upper layer a bit. Add a dose of this fertilizer, as these plants are mostly grown in smaller containers, with less soil mix, therefore you have to add only a small amount in the mixture. Mix well and add some moisture. You can fertilize your cacti and succulents once a month, at any time of the day in the season. Don't fertilize them in the dormancy, as it is the resting time of the plant. So it's all about cacti and succulents fertilizer. To make the best soil mix for succulents, must check out these recipes here.